There are two wars happening at the same time, and we cannot ignore them. These wars are now linked to a global oil crisis because supply is not meeting demand. One is in West Asia, where the US and Israel are in conflict with Iran. The other is the Russia Ukraine war. These may seem mutual and unconnected, but it is not. This is because Ukraine has started targeting Russia's oil sector and Iran is doing the same. Because of this, the world wants these conflicts to stop. Since March 2026, Ukraine has intensified its drone attacks. It is not targeting government or officials or military bases, but specifically oil infrastructure. One major example is the Kirishi refinery near St. Petersburg in Russia, which is one of the largest oil refineries in the country. Ukraine attacked this refinery and it was forced to shut down after fire broke out. Not only this, but Ukraine also attacked key Baltic ports such as Primorsk or Ust-Luga ports, where oil loading and exports stopped after the strikes. Many other ports, pipelines, and fuel storage sites have been affected. Even Russian tankers carrying oil for exports have been seized across Europe. Imagine this, Russia's oil exports have reduced by 40%, which means around 2 million barrels per day are affected because parts of its oil business have shut down. Shocking. It is being called the worst oil disruption in Russia's history, caused by Ukraine's attacks. Did you know that Russia is the second largest exporter of oil in the world after Saudi Arabia? Oil plays a major role in Russia's 2.6 trillion economy. So, this disruption will have a serious impact. Ukraine has clearly said that its goal is to reduce Russia's oil income and weaken its military. At the same time, ISIS News has been sharing updates about the situation in West Asia, which began on 28 Feb 2026, involving the US, Israel, and Iran. Iran responded with missile and drone strikes, which you have already aware of. We have shared about the Strait of Hormuz. You can watch if missed. Because of this, oil prices have risen sharply. Did you know that the price of oil has increased from around $80 per barrel in February to $100 to 108 per barrel by late March? This is happening because supply routes have been disrupted due to the ongoing wars, creating chaos and difficulties. Russia's oil exports are falling because of Ukraine's continuous attacks. In West Asia, oil routes have become unstable due to the conflict. The world depends on oil from Russia and Iran, but both are unable to supply properly due to ongoing conflicts, creating a serious global problem. It is not true to think that India can remain unaffected while these wars are ongoing. India is directly impacted and is already facing challenges. As you may know, India is the third largest importer of oil after China and the US. Being the third largest importer of oil, any shortage directly affects its economy. India imports about 40% of its oil through the Strait of Hormuz and also buys discounted crude oil from Russia. In February 2026, India reduced its Russian oil imports by about 32%. However, due to the current crisis, India is now adjusting and increasing its supply for backup. Reliance Industries has booked 6 million barrels of Russian oil for March. The US did not react harshly but has also allowed this by giving India a 30-day waiver to continue buying Russian oil. With this increase in imports, Russia may take the first place as India's top oil supplier. Earlier, Saudi Arabia held the first position, followed by Russia, but this may change. Russia's exports to India have risen from around 1.8 million barrels per day to 2.2 million barrels per day, making it the largest supplier in the world to India. Despite this, the risk still remains. If Russia's exports fall further, India could face oil shortages and higher prices, leading to higher transportation expenses and a rise in everyday living and food costs. The human cost of these wars is also very high. Since the Russia Ukraine war began in 2022, an estimated 2,75,000 to 3,25,000 Russian soldiers and 1 lakh to 1,40,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed. Around 15,954 Ukrainian civilians have died, and thousands of Russian civilians have also been affected. The US Israel versus Iran conflict, over 1,900 people have been killed in Iran and around 20,000 injured. In Israel, at least 19 civilians have died and many more have been injured, while no deaths have been reported from the US side. Now, as you can see, two separate wars are happening at the same time, causing an oil crisis. This has increased prices and created global uncertainty and difficulties. It is not possible to ignore this, as they will affect us in one way or the another. These disruptions are all linked to a global oil supply. Similarly, in India, if oil supply is affected, it will negatively impact the economy and cause disruptions. We hope India manages the situation well.